Hey everyone, this is Unlock24, and today we're going to be talking about basically how to get the mats for the current Tag Duel event tournament. But before we do that, I do want to give you a little bit of an update on the PS4 giveaway. The person who won has not claimed it yet, and if you haven't seen who won, check yesterday's video. So it hasn't been claimed yet, and so what I'll do is if it doesn't get claimed by Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll go ahead and personally select someone that, especially what I'll do is I'll select someone that is commenting a lot in some of the recent videos, or I'll think of something to where it's almost guaranteed that he'll claim it, or the person that I'm gonna select claims it. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna do it because there's right off the top of my mind, there's three people that are always commenting and have been commenting since since I've made the channel. So I'm gonna give it to one of those guys or girls because I don't know who they are. And basically, they're gonna get it if no one has claimed it for since whenever Thursday comes by. So hopefully they claim it and they see who gets it on. I'll say Thursday afternoon, since we'll be able to see if they haven't claimed it yet. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and select our ultra rare dream ticket first, and then we'll go ahead and go into the Mets. So one of the questions that I got asked yesterday is why I was considering drowning Mirror Force, because I guess people think it's really not that good, but I do tend to use this deck a lot. It's a really easy to use deck, especially in competitive, and I think that's one of the reasons that I like it, because you can do a lot of damage with this deck. It's not really like a fun deck; it's more like a troll deck, but it is somewhat competitive. And this is the only reason that I was contemplating getting a drowning Mirror Force, because I do enjoy running this deck, and I have been trying to get like top rarity of everything. Of course, I'm not gonna get the top rarity of the stuff that's in the boxes, because that would be insane to waste that amount of money to get a prismatic drowning mirror force or prismatic floodgate trap hole or any of the other things. But I do have two prismatic lava golems, one glossy. I'm saving up some jewels and saving up some fire. What are they called? Stones, I guess, to go ahead and trade out for my third lava golem. And then I do have the three big shield gardeners prismatic. This one it was basically luck that I got it. The Sphere Creeper, it was the first prismatic that I got out of a pack. And then I don't think I can get these in any higher rarity. You do have to farm Maya, and she's really hard to farm. But anyway, out of the packs, I don't think I'm gonna get much of anything. Alright, so let's go ahead and select our ultra rare dream ticket, and I ended up selecting or I'm gonna select, I already know what I'm gonna get. Okay, second anniversary ticket login. Alright, so let's go all the way down. And I am going to get, where is it at? I'm gonna go ahead and get the frog. It was a tough choice between the swap frog and the soul exchange, and basically because they kind of tutor the exact same deck, which is monarchs. However, swap frog does have a little bit more versatility. You can use it a lot more in different decks, whereas the soul exchange can only be used in a tribute based deck. Whereas the swap frog, whenever exceeds come out, you'll be able to do a swap deck, and or a swap deck, a frog deck, and then use all the frogs to exceed. You can also use it to do an OTK. There's also an OTK that the swap frog tutors. I mean, there's a thing you can do with the swap frog. That's why I decided to go with it instead of the soul exchange. And again, the drowning mirror force, pretty sure. Two is fine for now. If I ever do need a third one, I think I'll go back and try to get more copies of it, which hopefully they reprint in a selection box or something. But let's go ahead and confirm the swap frog, because that's literally what that I'm thinking about. And some of you commented that the swap frog was the best thing to get, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take your advice and get it. Also, I still have all these tickets, but I already have three of almost everything, so there's really no point in trading them. It'd be awesome if they have if we can trade them for gold or for jewels or for something else, because the rares and standard cards, common cards that they have, they are complete trash, and there's really no point in getting any of them. So I already have three of most of them, so it doesn't. I don't really care for any of these tickets anymore. But anyway, for the Mets, for the Tech Duel tournament, they're actually really simple to get. Let me go ahead and show them to you. I got them in a couple of, I think it was like 40 minutes or so. But they're really, really, really easy to get. And let's see if we can go ahead and take a look at them. Alright, let me go ahead and scroll down. Alright, let's see, where are they? Alright, here's one. The Stardust Cup. And it's basically just a Stardust Dragon, which it would have been awesome if it had color on it instead of just having this grayscale, I guess. Just black and white. It's a decent looking card. Then we also have the Neos Cup, which again another decent card, black and white. And then the Dark Magic Cup, which I think this one's the best of the three, in my opinion. I think the second best would be the Stardust Dragon. But anyway, they're really easy to obtain. You have to use or you have to do or perform six tribute summons, six synchro summons, and then 6 fusion summons for them to get it. And this is the deck that I was using. The first one was with.
This is going to be such fun.
All right, and the first one I think was just a standard Monarch deck. There's really nothing fancy about it. It's really easy to use. Basically, soul exchanges, all the Monarchs that I had, and then some tribute fodder. It wasn't this one. Let me see where I saved it with. I can't remember who I was using. I think I was using the this guy. Let's see if it's still on here. Alright, so that's my Blue Ice farm. And then this is something else. Let's see. Maybe I didn't name it. Which if I didn't name it, I'm gonna have a hard time finding it. Let's see what this is. Hopefully this is it. Oh yeah, this is it. So really easy to use deck. You don't need the frogs. You definitely do not need the frogs. The frogs, most of the time, they were just in the way because I was running the mirror wall. It was an overall really, really bad build on my part, and it was kind of a lazy build at that too, because I really didn't think of the deck through. I just threw in a whole bunch of tribute monsters, and those being the Monarchs. If you don't have the Monarchs, you don't need them. Just put any level 5 or higher monster on here. Some soul exchanges, don't have soul exchanges. You don't need them. You can always let your partner set or summon a monster, then you can always tribute your partner's monster. So you don't need the frogs, you don't need the Sangan, you don't need the mirror walls, and you don't need the wall of disruptions. Just basically have 5 tribute monsters. This is just an example, I guess. You can change whatever card you have. If you have any other level 5 monsters, that should work. The next one, I think it was with Jaden. And again, it's the exact same thing. Like I said, in order to obtain those mats is extremely, extremely easy. Let me find it. All right, here's here's this one, and again, another extremely rushed build. It doesn't really. I mean, it works for the purpose, but if you ever try to play it in competitive, I don't think it's gonna do that well. Elemental Hero Blade Edge. If you don't have the Blade Edges, you don't need them. Most of the time in here, they were just fodder. You can use any other hero monster that you have on here. The Thunder Dragons, it makes it easier for you to fusion summon, so it makes it to where you can fusion summon really, really quick. And it also thins out the deck. And if you don't have the Thunder Dragons, I highly suggest that you invest in 3 Thunder Dragons. There's always you can always run Thunder Dragons in almost any deck, especially like in a discard deck, or there's just a ton of utility. And I think these were one of the first things that I acquired from the card trader, the Thunder Dragons and the twin-headed Thunder Dragon. So if you don't have them, I do highly suggest that you do get 3 copies. I know they've been out for a while, but a lot of people don't I guess don't take advantage of them. They're really good in my opinion. Elements here: Blazeman, one Vision Hero, the three Red Eyes, one Miracle Fusion. You don't need the Miracle Fusion. That Jaden has a skill where I think it's Miracle Time or something where you can get a free Miracle Fusion. Two Red Eyes Insides, two Polymerizations, and three Red Eye Spirits with Fusion Time again. I highly doubt you don't have the polymerizations, but Fusion Time just gives you an extra polymerization. For the Fusion deck, Red Eye slash Dragon, one Elemental Hero Gaia, which I don't think you need, because there's no way to get him out. There was just fodder in here to make up to 5. One Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, and then Elemental Wild Edge, which again, you don't really need it, because you can't even summon it again. It was just fodder that I found. There were Elemental Heroes on here that I thought I was going to be able to special summon, but again, I wasn't really paying attention, and these cards are really, really old. I don't remember what fusions that were required, so I just threw them in there without rating anything. And basically that's it. If you can technically do the same thing. Again, the 2 hero monsters you don't need, and then the Red Eye slash Dragon, I guess. Or if you don't have to run something exactly like this. You can run something similar, and it should still work. And then for the synchro deck, I think I was with Arcana. Yeah, the synchro was. I was just using like a standard Blue Eyes, and I think I changed up my Blue Eyes farm deck, and I switched it out, and I took out some of the farm cards and just put the tuners on there, and that was basically it. And it worked extremely well. I managed to get everything within, I think, 3 or 4 games, and I had all the synchro summons basically done. Because you always get the this guy, and once you get this guy, you can special summon it, bring out the protector with Eyes of Blue, and then if you have another protector, you can bring out another protector, and then another stone, or the White Stone of Legend. You'll go ahead and synchro summon first for a Stardust, and then Stardust comes out, and then you still have another tuner, so you can tune her up into a gigantic castle, or I don't think you can do. But I guess if you don't have the Stardust, you can always go into the Azure Ice Silver Dragon, or just use the gigantic castle that you can get from the card trader. But you should have a skill. I think Jaden has a skill. Just use this deck with Jaden, where you can get Stardust for free, and just use that. And again, it'll be really easy with this particular deck. You don't need the Silver Cry that much, because most of the time you're just synchro summoning, and I mean they definitely help if you want to win the game really, really quick. But you don't need them. If you don't have them, don't spend any gems on it. Just build a deck without it. Same thing with Birthrights, I guess. But they just make the deck run a little bit smoother, but you don't necessarily need them. And do remember to read your cards, because I've seen a lot of people play a Blue Eyes deck, and they're just. I'm just gonna go ahead and say they're just terrible, because they start off with a Destructotron and a Cosmo Brain and a Blue Eyes or something similar to that, or maybe even a Breaker, and then they just go ahead and special summon the Cosmo Brain, and then they summon the Breaker, and then just end up there. But do remember that you can use Cosmo Brain's effect. His effect is you contribute one effect monster to bring out a Blue Eyes. So if you don't know how to play a Blue Eyes deck, remember that you're not just gonna let Destructotron destroy itself at the end of the turn. It's basically fodder for the Cosmo Brain. You summon Destructotron, you clear the back row, then you special summon the Cosmo Brain, activity effect, send off the Destructotron to get a Blue Eyes, and basically attack for game. The same thing with Breaker the Magical Warrior. With Breaker, you summon it, destroy the back row, and then summon the Cosmo Brain. Don't summon the Cosmo Brain first and let it fall into, I don't know, Floodgate Trap Hole or something of the likes. Do summon your effect monster first, destroy back row, and then proceed to go ahead and go for game. But anyway, these decks are extremely easy. And another thing that I didn't want to let you guys know is, or show you, is my farm deck, which is a very, very generic farm deck. I've been using it forever, I think. especially since it came out. And that particular deck is, where was it at? I forgot what I had. Well, this is one of them, but I kind of switch. Well, I'll show you this one first, and then I'll show you the next one. So for this deck, it's a standard Blue Eyes deck, and with playing against Epic Yugi or Yami Yugi or whatever he was called, I can't remember. You do have to have the Magic Jammers, and I used to run something a lot more budget friendly, which you still can if you don't have any of these cards. You can still run something extremely budget friendly with a Kaiba Man, 3 blue eyes, some stones, maybe if you have the stones. Again, you don't really need the Dragon Spirits of White. Again, this is a more streamlined version. It's a little bit faster. But again, you can always build it budget. You will, however, in order for you to be able to farm Yami Yugi, you will need the Magic Jammers and the Champion's Vigilance. Because Thousand Knives just comes out of nowhere and then just wipes your Cosmo Brain, and you don't want that to happen. You want to protect your Cosmo Brain, and you want to protect your Blue Eyes not as much because you can always summon another one, or bring out I mean you are running Silver's Cry, so the Cosmo Brain is basically what you want to protect. If you fail to protect it, you can. There's always a second way to farm with just summon 2 blue eyes, and you should still be fine. So this particular deck really easy to use, and it's a farm deck. It's gonna be boring to play. The next one was Ojamas. I can't remember who I had Ojamas with, which I think was it with. I think it was with Pegasus. And most of the time, I'm using the Blue Eyes deck, which I haven't really been lucky with Yami Yugi lately because he hasn't dropped almost anything. I don't think. Well, hopefully, there's one out in the world, and I can show you. And again, if you've been following me for a while, I've been playing this deck also for a really long time. But most of the time, I use it with chess, but it works with a lot of different characters. One King of the Swamp, but don't run 2 because I only have the one. Don't really want to spend on getting a second one or a third one. Ojama Blues, you can farm this from chess, 1 Vassal, and do 2 each of the Ojamas. The Fusion Sage, 2 Union Attacks, 3 Polymerizations, 2 Ojama Countries, and then 1 Secret Pass to the Treasure. On this one, you don't need Magic Jammers, and the reason for that being is that most of the time you're gonna summon an Ojama Knight, and then the opponent's not going to be able to special summon, or it's not going to have enough space to summon a Dark Magician, so they're not going to be able to use Thousand Knives, so you should be fine. It's I think this deck is really easy to use. I am running Restart because I always want to start off with an Ojama Knight or with an Ojama King right off the bat. So those are the 2 farm decks that I've been using, and I guess the decks that I've been using to get the mats, which again, everything was extremely easy. It's really straightforward. But if you do have any questions about it, do leave me a comment in the comment section below. I'll try to help you out as much as I can. And if I don't reply to you instantly, it's because I'm either asleep or I'm working or doing something else. But as soon as I have some free time, I usually jump on YouTube and try to reply to as many comments as possible. But anyway, I think that's going to be it for today. Check back, I guess, tomorrow to see if I have a video. Don't really know what my schedule will look like. I will definitely put out a video on Thursday to go ahead and update you, to let you guys know whether the person that won the PS4, I guess, claimed it or not. And then we'll go ahead and, if he hasn't claimed it, we'll go ahead and select someone else right there on Thursday. And then if that person doesn't claim it, what I'll do is, I kind of don't want to sound like a broken recorder and just keep trying to give that PS4 for the next year or so. So I'll just give it to a family member that doesn't have one, I guess. And I'll end it at that. But I don't really want, I want one of you guys to have it. It's basically a sort of a thank you for your support, since you guys have been subscribing, and you guys have been checking back to see some of my videos. So again, it is a thank you gift sort of thing, so I do want one of you guys to have it. But anyway, I'm just rambling at this point, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Do subscribe if you haven't done so, And do leave me a comment in the comment section below if you have any questions.